Just a reminder before today's programme that there's a whole worth of content here on the channel over the past week you can check out, including the latest instalment of the Ident Review Extra, where we took a look at the rather strange birth night ident, or the return of Overthinking, where we took a look at the first episode of Bertha, the Great Painting Job. If music's more your thing, you can check out our latest and probably final instalment of the Hits Review, where I took a look at Hits 14. Or is it 15? Also the latest episode of the regular Ident Review, where we came right up to date and looked at the 2020 idents on BBC One. And also the latest instalment of Millionaire Moments, where we took a look at the full game of Josina Reeves, and if you haven't seen it already, let's just say, goes quite a way. And now, here on AMTV, it's that time of the week again. Your questions answered in the Sunday Catch-Up. Hi there guys, it's Martyn here, and welcome back to another instalment of the Sunday Catch-Up. I think this is instalment 68, sometimes I just lose numbers, or it could be 69. It's one of the two, you'll find out. And as normal, I will be answering your questions, but first we're going to do the shoutouts for today. Now the first two shoutouts I wanted to give are shoutouts I've given before here on the channel, but they've been doing new things, so I feel it's worth shouting them out again. First of all is to Rebecca Fithian. I've shouted at her channel before. She's done some amazing covers, singing and all that sort of stuff, but she's also been branching out into stuff she's passionate about, such as why you should use cruelty-free products, stuff that isn't tested on animals, amongst other things as well. Honestly, like theatre reviews, I'm talking lots. So go and check out her channel, give her a subscribe as well. I know that'll mean a lot to her. So shout out to Rebecca. Another shout out is to Lauren, who's just released a brand new song that is on her YouTube channel to view. So if you search Lauren Creswell, give her a subscribe, you'll be able to check out her new song. It's absolutely cracking. Here's a little taster.
We were never meant to be together. Leave it to the breeze, and there's too many storms to weather. I don't wanna sail in your rough seas. I can't help you if you're lonely. You did that to yourself. I'm not your crutch, don't lean on me. I'm not the person to call for help. Yeah.
Fabulous. So go and subscribe to Lauren. Now then, some new shout outs this week on the channel. First, I want to shout out to my mate George and his 99-second playlist. So if you search George Reid Music on YouTube, that's R-E-I-D for Reid, you'll be able to see what he's been working on. Some cracking songs on there. It's just a really cool idea what he's come up with, and just go and subscribe to him, give him all the love. He's a great guy, really deserves it. And the final shout out, I want to shout out to Grace and Julie for their Girl Talk video. So I'll put the picture on the screen now for the channel to go and subscribe to. Go and watch it, it's really funny. Just two girls, a Brit and an American, just delivering comedy. I hope they do more, so give them a subscribe as well. Well, most of you have been noticing some days have been double upload days. Obviously, I've had a bit more time, and instead of moving things around, having one thing a day, I thought it's been quite fun having two things a day. But I'm curious to know what you think. Are you a fan of the two things a day? It's not going to be every day, just on the odd day. And in terms of what's coming up next week, get me dates right. So the Ident Review Extra is only going to be on Monday and Tuesday again, because on Wednesday you've got another episode of Overthinking coming. And on Thursday you'll have an instalment of the Now Review, where we'll finally continue the Now Dance journey with Now Dance 90. So I hope you enjoy viewing that. On Friday you'll have another episode of the original Ident Review. And on Saturday, well, I can't decide whether it's going to be a Millionaire Moments or something a little bit different. I'll have to find out. And then Sunday with the Sunday Catch-Up. But those are all the main housekeeping things. Aside from at the time of this recording, we're still racing towards 10,000 subscribers. Time I'm recording this, we're close to 9,400, and May is just about ending, so we've got a month to reach 10k, and I know we can do it with you guys. I mean, it's incredible support, so thank you for the support, and let's get into your questions. So first of all, you've got Blissful690. Have you ever listened to Vaporwave music? I've heard it on the occasion, but I haven't gone out of my way to listen to Vaporwave. For anyone who hasn't listened, just type it in on YouTube and give it a listen. It's quite wavy stuff. 2. Did you know that some of the tracks on Now 100 Hits Forgotten 80s, even more Forgotten 80s and Forgotten 90s, have appeared on actual Now albums? Yes, I knew they did like originally at the time, but of course when they appeared on the numbered nows at the time, they were like mainstream chart hits. They weren't forgotten by any stretch. So, but you know, the passage of time, some songs become more remembered than others. TV Van 101 says, do you remember Hilltop Hospital on CITV? I don't, and again, I never really watched CITV as a kid. I was always a CBBC child, so that one eluded me, unfortunately. What's your favourite SpongeBob and Rugrats game? SpongeBob game, I mean, it's probably Battle for Bikini Bottom, and it's getting remastered, which I'm tempted to pick up. And Rugrats, I mean, the one I grew up with was Search for Reptar on PS1, which is quite a simple game now when you look back on it, but that was really good fun. And I'm also tempted to say Rugrats in Paris. That was also on PS1. I borrowed that off my friend when I was really young, and I remember really enjoying that one. I'll have to try and get that for PS1 again, you know. And 3, do you remember Pop and Tiny Pop? If so, what are your favourite shows on both channels? I do remember Tiny Pop, but I never watched it. I was out of that age range. Pop, I saw for the first time, I think when I was 8, I was on holiday, and the first thing that was on was The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, the 90s show. And that, believe it or not, was actually my introduction to Sonic the Hedgehog as a character. So I'm going to say that's my favourite show. DJF Vlog says, did you know the release date has changed for Now 100 Hits Summer from the 19th to the 26th of June? I had noticed that, yeah. I'm debating whether to pre-order it, but I mean, I might do. Yeah, I've seen it's been delayed. I don't know why they release, give out these dates and then change them, but it could be any reason. It could be production, it could be changes in the track list. We just really don't know. And 2, are you watching Afterlife on Netflix? No, I'm not. I must admit, I've never been a Ricky Gervais fan, per se. I've heard people say Afterlife is really, really good, so I might actually have to give this one a chance, but yeah, on the whole, I haven't been watching it, sadly. And 3, how long does it take you to edit your videos? It really depends. For something like this, where there's a lot of questions involved, it can take anywhere from an hour to 2 hours. I'd say all my videos sort of take roughly within that time span of the regular shows that you see. The stuff that probably takes the quickest to edit now is the ident review extra, because I gather those clips that I need, record my voice, and I'm usually done within an hour. But it's about an hour to 2 hours, and that might sound long, but remember, like, I'm using a laptop that's a few years old. Everything's a bit slower now than it used to be, so it takes time. The Unexpected says, would you ever collect BPI silver, gold, or platinum certified awards? So that's for like music and stuff, like framed, like coloured discs for the awards. I've never really been into that sort of thing. I do think they look cool, like when you see them. Like, I remember there's that picture of Michael Jackson with Off the Wall, Thriller, and Bad all in discs, I think. But no, I've never planned on collecting it myself. And 2, have you watched the pre-Clarkson Top Gear series? I haven't. I'm aware of it, but I've never really been like a Top Gear guy. I've seen the odd episode with the classic trio like Clarkson, Hammond, and May, but I've never really given it my full attention. Jordan Howell says, what other children's TV programs are you planning to cover for the Overthinking series? Well, it's a tough one because, as I say, I've been uploading a few, but they all get hit with copyright, and a lot of times they get hit with takedowns, and I have to dispute it. So, I mean, I'll let you in on the next one that'll be coming to you this Wednesday. It's a show that we've covered before, but it's a very personal favourite of mine, and I enjoy reviewing them, so that might be the regular for a while. But, I mean, I'm open to any sort of shows that are a bit more obscure, some that are popular, but the copyright is getting quite hard to navigate around. Garfield Pikmin fans says, what do you think of Blobby, the pink costume? Do you mean Mr. Blobby? Mr. Blobby used to give me nightmares as a child, man. He was just so strange. I don't know why he became a national icon. LFC Gamer says, what are some of your most nostalgic VHS tapes from your childhood? Well, Brum's Biggest Party video is one, and I've still actually got that. There you go, this is the VHS tape I've owned since 1998, Brum's Biggest Party video. It's actually a really good tape. It's got 7 stories from Season 2 of Brum, and it still works incredibly, so that's probably my most nostalgic tape. When you were working at your cinema, did you have to deal with rude and entitled people? So, I've never worked at a cinema. I've worked at a theatre, like a performance theatre, like drama and all that sort of stuff. I've dealt with rude and entitled people the whole time I've worked there. People, I don't know what it is about the theatre. I think they think that they're above the staff a lot of the time, and it's just wrong. But the truth of the matter is, it doesn't matter if I work there. If you're rude to me or entitled to me, and yeah, just rude, then I'm not gonna serve you. That's just how it is. And 3, who is your least favourite football team? For some reason, when I was a kid, I never liked Newcastle, but I don't know why. I think that was just founded on nothing, really. Chestnut Bloke says, what are your thoughts on the ITV Britain Get Talking campaign? I don't really know that much about it. I haven't taken much notice, but I mean, I do see it on the ITV programmes that I watch. So, but what is it? Media Lover says, have you heard of a film unit known as British Transport Films? Yes, I've heard of them. I can't remember like what films they've helped make, but I've heard of them before. And 2, have you seen any films by Hayao Miyazaki of Studio Ghibli? I've seen Spirited Away. And unfortunately, I think... Oh no, I've seen... Well, I can't remember if Miyazaki had a hand in it, but I've seen The Red Turtle. If you've seen that one, that's a really good one. But I need to see more Studio Ghibli. I want to see Grave of the Firefly specifically. That looks just really, really good. Cooking at My Nan says, have you read the Daily Star magazine? And if so, what's your interest? No, I don't read the Star because I don't read trash, quite frankly. Sally Robinson says, when is your birthday? If you troll back through some of my videos, you'll be able to decipher when my birthday is. And 2, did you use GoAnimate or Beyond as a kid? No, I didn't. I was not really a technically gifted child when it came to using things like that. The most I used my computer for was to go on like the Doctor Who website and play Flash games. Dr. Floyd03, ooh, your productions now. And you say, what is your favourite SNES game? Super Metroid. Hands down. 2, what do you think of Ricky Gervais? Funny how he came up again. As I say, I've never really been like a huge fan. I respect his work, but his comedy just doesn't do it for me. And 3, have you ever had duplicates of the same DVD? And if so, what do you do with them? Well, if I've had duplicates, sometimes I'll trade them into places like CEX or try and get a bit of money back. Or if I've got a friend who I know will be interested in it, I'll just give it away. Doctor Who fan says, favourite special BBC Two ident ever? As a Doctor Who fan, it's got to be the Dalek one from the late 90s, which we will eventually get to on the Ident Review Extra when we get to 1999 or whenever it was, or 98 should I say. Favourite BBC Two Christmas ident ever? Actually, it's 93, the one that's like a proper sequence with all the little people like moving around the Christmas tree. Just watch BBC Two Christmas ident 93 if you haven't, it's brilliant. And what Michael Jackson album would you have liked to have gotten the 25 treatment, excluding Dangerous? Well, all of them, really. I'm surprised Off the Wall didn't back in 2004. I'm surprised they didn't really do a 40th anniversary last year either. I would say, I mean, this year is technically History 25. Are they going to do one? No, that's pretty evident. Probably when it gets to it, Invincible, when it gets to 2026, that would be cool to have an Invincible 25. But again, I don't think it's going to happen. Hassan Junaid says, what level lockdown we in? Who knows, mate? I mean, the government keep telling us mixed messages and it annoys me. I'm just... do what you think's safe, in my opinion. 2, have you heard of Action Man? Yeah, I used to watch the old animated show and I think I had a few Action Men toys as well. And 3, have you seen E.T.? Yes, I've seen E.T., absolute classic. Film by Steven Spielberg. If you haven't seen E.T., I highly recommend you watch it. KGS says, if I ever change my username to Rugrats Fan 101, would you still recognise me? I mean... possibly? And 2, what did you think of Lenny Henry's live-action Wallace and Gromit sketch? I've not actually seen that, but that sounds really interesting, so I will search that, thank you. And what classic CBeebies shows seem to disturb you? Disturb me? I mean, Boo Bar. Have you ever seen Boo Bar on CBeebies? That was like early 2000s. Those things disturb me. Those things were strange. Just search Boo Bar. Odd. Very odd. Max Jackson says, favourite Sherlock Holmes film or TV show adaptation? I'm going to let you in on a secret. I'm not really a Sherlock Holmes fan. Respect the character, respect the legacy, the lineage, but I'm not really digging it. I've seen the first Robert Downey Jr. film. Didn't really do it for me. And 2, have you ever been to Hong Kong? Yes, I've been to Hong Kong when, a few years ago actually, 2016. It was a really beautiful city. It was really nice to explore. Went to Hong Kong Disneyland as well. That was good fun. Moves22 Allsworth says, do you like Apple or Android? And have you ever watched the movie This Is England? Haven't seen This Is England. I'm an Android guy in terms of my phones. Always have been. Boo to the iPhone. But, you know, I do like Apple. I used to have an iPod. That was great. Kyle Wright says, favourite songs from the noughties? It is probably stuff from the, well, no, actually the whole noughties, like early, mid, late. I mean, late noughties is when I really started getting into music, like chart stuff, like 2000, summer of 2008 was a good time. But also like the early 2000s, because that reminds me of my childhood and like all the school discos with all like the cheesy stuff. But yeah, my favourite song, I have got a soft spot for a song called From Paris to Berlin by Infernal. And if you don't know that one, you should search it right now. 2, least favourite songs from the noughties. Least favourite songs, I never really dug that like pretty sounding, I'm trying to think of it, like punk rocker with flowers in my hair. I never really dug that sort of stuff. I was more into like the dance stuff, the Eurodance, but that's just me. And 3, have you checked out the YouTube user Speedo Shy for his prank gone wrong videos? I hate prank videos on YouTube. I hate them because the vast majority of them, if not all of them, are fake and they're boring. They're so boring. The Carl John wants us, have you ever had a washing machine make a loud racket due to bad bearings? Touch wood, no, I haven't yet, and hopefully I never will. And 2, favourite flavour of pizza? Cheese and tomato. Pretty simple, pretty standard. And 3, what do you think of the Simpsons episode where Ned Flanders has his house blown down by a hurricane? I remember that one. I think I had that on I taped that on VHS once. That was a good episode. You got to see a different side of Ned Flanders. You got to see just genuine comedy, like when they've rebuilt the house and then it just collapses. It's classic Simpsons, man. Nathan Simpson says, opinions on the Powerpuff Girls reboot from 2016. I've not watched it. A lot of people seem to not like it. I wasn't really that bothered. Ribbalise says, did you know that Now released 8 and 9 on CDs in the 80s? Yes, I did. I think Now, was it Now 8 that was the first that got a... Oh no, 8 and 9 did get CD releases, but weren't they limited or one disc? I think it was Now 10 that was the first like double disc release that had the same amount of tracks on it. And 2, do you like Turkish Delight? I love Turkish Delight. It's one of my favourite things to have around Christmas time. And 3, do you own any of Mika's albums? I actually don't. I thought I owned it's probably not called We Are Golden, but the album that had that on it, but I think I bought that for a friend's birthday. Isaac Stairs Film says, did you know that when you reach 10k you can use YouTube Space in London? If so, will you? I didn't until you said it, but I mean, I've seen it now. I probably won't be able to use it for a while because, you know, that pandemic life. I might go and check it out. Might make something there, that might be cool. Don't know what though, don't know how much it costs to hire as well. Coaster Yaris says, what is your opinions on the Eurovision Song Contest? I'm not going to lie to you. Eurovision is one of my favourite, if not my favourite time of the year. It's just a week of like great cheese, comedy, love. I love Eurovision. Best time of the year. 2, what is your opinion on BBC 4 shutting down and BBC 3 relaunch? Have they confirmed that? I know they were talking about it, but as far as I know, it hadn't been confirmed. If that does happen, I think that'll be a great shame. Personally, if 3 and 4 can coexist as TV channels, that'd be great. I don't think BBC 4 should be closed down, but I am for BBC 3 becoming a channel again if they wanted to. I Say Begone Thought says, what are your thoughts on Channel 4's Red Triangle series? Would you review any of the films? I don't know what that is, so I'm going to have to look into that. And 2, what are your thoughts on prog or psychedelic rock? Not really my genre. Again, I respect it, but you can call me like white trash or whatever, but I prefer like pop, rock, mainstream stuff. That's just personal preference. I respect it, it has its place, but it's not really the genre for me. Chat says, do you know the Chat who answered in the last episode of Sunday Catch Up was not me? I didn't know that really. I mean, I'm going off the names here, and sometimes it is hard to tell who's the duplicate and who's the original. So if I ever do that to any of you, I apologise. I don't know why people copy questions. It's a bit sad, really. And 2, have you ever heard of the CITV comedy My Phone Genie? Nope, never heard of it. Then you've got Red D, who says favourite brand of trainers. I'm not really like into trainers, but if I had to pick, probably like just Adidas, a lot of the stuff they put out. And 2, cider or lager/beer? Beer. Cider is disgusting. And 3, have you ever had a TV break on you? Oh, a TV break on you. No, not to my memory. All my TVs so far have been good, touch wood. They've not broken down or anything like that. I've had things like consoles break down on me and various things like that, but never a TV. Pishchivnyet says, did you know that Path is the second oldest active film company in the world? I knew it was really, really old because anytime they show like archived clippings, it's always from Path, but I didn't know they were the second oldest. Who is the oldest? And 2, what are your thoughts on the BBC Scotland idents? Well, if you check out my ident review episode on BBC Scotland idents, you'll be able to get a flavour of some of them. I'm aware they've released more, so I might have to review more of them again. Moonlight Babe says, favourite Little Mix member? Originally, probably Perry, but honestly, after watching Jesse's documentary, I mean, that hit, man. Honestly, go and watch it, so probably her. Tall Autism 2006 says, have you seen the video History of the Entire World? I guess. It sounds familiar. I might have watched it, but I might watch it again. And 2, striped twos or curves? Curves. 3, what is your favourite Harry Potter movie? Probably Goblet of Fire. I'm not sure what it was. That one just felt really epic. I guess it had the Triwizard Tournament. So yeah, Goblet of Fire for me. GTK474 says, have you ever experienced Joy-Con drift by yourself? No, thankfully. I've owned a Switch for nearly 2 years now, and I have never experienced Joy-Con drift, thankfully. I believe that's where the analog sticks get a bit wavy, but no, thankfully my Nintendo Switch is in full working order. And 2, have you watched Cinemassacre's You Know What's BS? Yes, I have. I've pretty much watched all of Cinemassacre's videos. I love like the stuff they do like that, the funny spin-offs like Board James as well, and I love the film reviews. I recently rewatched Godzillathon for no other reason than I just fancied it. Like, a lot of my film knowledge and interest has come from Cinemassacre and James, so I owe a lot to him. FP YouTube says, have you heard of the Channel Islands? Oh, yeah, Guernsey and Jersey and all that sort of stuff. I've got friends in Guernsey and friends in Jersey. You may even know some of them. Christopher Kenyon says, have you seen Megamind, The Prince of Egypt, or A Good Burger? Not seen A Good Burger. I've seen Prince of Egypt, the movie. Incredible. Don't know about the live-action musical they've done. Megamind, yes, I watched that in the cinema, and I quite enjoyed it, but I remember at the time, not many people liked it. I actually took someone on a date to see Megamind, I think. Yeah, you can see how that didn't work out. Yeah. iMilky Shake says, are you going to watch Alan Carr's Epic Game Show? Is it the one that's on... Oh, well, it would have been on, wouldn't it? I haven't watched it, but might need to catch up. What children's channel did you grow up with? CBBC or CITV? CBBC. And 3, do you like any good auditions of X Factor? Yeah, if people can genuinely sing and genuinely have something different, then I enjoy it, but I can't remember any good auditions that stood out to me like, wow, off the top of my head. I mean, Susan Boyle's the obvious one, but we all love her, don't we? Joseph Adams says, do you remember watching Doctor Who serial Castrovalva and they changed the theme tune? Yeah, Castrovalva's actually a great story. I think it doesn't get as much love as it deserves. And Peter Davison's a great doctor. Good theme tune, too. And your idea is a TV theme intro review. That would be great, but the copyright issues on that would be extreme. And do you know Dominic Cummings got told off? Yes, he did get told off. He should have got told off more. He should have resigned, but he didn't. And I'm going to stop talking about it because it will make me very angry. Harvey Richards says, what is your opinion on the 1996 Doctor Who TV movie? It's not bad, right? I don't care about the half-human stuff. I don't get why people throw a hissy fit about that. Paul McGann is brilliant. The supporting cast are brilliant. Eric Roberts is a little campy as the Master, but then again, the Master was always a little campy if you think about it. I think it's a really solid story. I love the TARDIS design. I enjoyed it as a kid. I enjoy watching it now. It's just really good. The Nostalgia Hallway says, what's your favourite horror film? My favourite horror film, if you've ever heard of a Spanish series called REC, R-E-C, like record on a camera, those films, they're pretty scary. Well, the first two anyway. 2, what is your favourite DreamWorks film? It's got to be Shrek. I love Shrek. And what's your least favourite DreamWorks film? Probably something along the lines of Shark Tale. That film is bad, man. The Original Being says, do you have any imports in your DVD collection? Not many. I think the only one I can think of is a US copy of The Life of Emile Zola. Now, you might not know that. It's a very old film, like 1937, but it won Best Picture. And I made a habit of trying to collect every film that had ever won Best Picture, that being one of them. But, well, at the time I looked, I don't know if it has now, it never had a Region 2 or like UK release. It had a Region 1 release, and I actually found it in a DVD shop in Manchester, of all places, for about £5. So I picked it up. 2, are there any idents that impressed you with its design, effects, and music? Tons, man. Like, when I've done the ident review or the ident review extra, I'm sure I've commented on it. Like, even these current BBC Oneness, like, yes, Oneness, we all hate it. But as I said in the recent ident review for that, like, the concept, the design, the music, it's all really good, I think. And 3, do you play snooker from time to time? You noticed it in the background. Yeah, this table. Yeah, I play from time to time. I'm not professional status at all. This snooker table, actually, when way back when we first moved into this house, this was from the previous owners, but because it's so big and you can't really disassemble it without damaging it, the owners were like, we don't want it, you have it. So it's just sort of been here ever since. The Fam says, hi, how are you doing? I'm doing alright. And 2, favourite Now album of all time. I've never really found a favourite. I might just have to have days where I like binge every single album and decide which one's my favourite, but I couldn't quantify it, man. Time Lord Master 108 says, did you wish people would stop going on about Dominic Cummings? You do, he made a poor choice, get over it. I see what you're saying, but the fact is, this has gone on for too long where the government has had one rule for those in their team and one rule for the rest of us. Let's just go back to when this lockdown peaked. Thousands of people are dying, over a series of days, right? Currently, the death toll at the time I'm recording this is nearly 40,000 people. That's a lot of deaths. All through that time, we are being told, stay at home, don't go anywhere. And the case in point for this, Dominic Cummings travelled 260 miles to go and, well, not see, he didn't stay in the same app, but he travelled across the country when it could be argued he didn't necessarily need to. You're telling me that with the amount of money he has and the amount of contacts he has in London, that finding any childcare in London, the biggest city in the country, was impossible. I'm not buying it, Dom. And also, case in point, someone I know has 2 children, right? A 6-year-old and a baby, less than 1 year old. And they live with their husband. Their husband was working, and one of them was starting to come down with symptoms. They thought it might have been you know what. So they ring their mum, who offers to come over, take the kids, look after them so those 2 can recover. Basically the same, similar scenario to what Mr. Cummings was in. And the person I know said, no, we can't do that, mum, because it breaches the government's instructions. And it was very difficult for them. People have not been able to see their families. People have not been able to attend funerals. And then this man goes and does that and refuses to say sorry. I didn't mean to go off on this tangent, but it really is. It's been doing my head in this past week. It really is a mockery. It's an insult. And the fact our Prime Minister says, this man has integrity, this man has intelligence. So what, the rest of us don't? Those of us who didn't react on instinct don't have that basic intelligence? It's honestly a mockery. And no, we shouldn't forget it. This man should realise what he's done and feel the effects of what he's done. He should have resigned, or the Prime Minister should have got him out anyway. But no, unfortunately, whilst they continue to make a mockery of us, for me at least, this case isn't closed. Sorry. Have you ever heard of the kids' show Tugs? Yes, that's the tugboats one, right? I might do that for overthinking, actually. Good idea. And 3, did you ever watch any of the Stuart Little films as a kid? And if so, what did you think? I've seen the first 2. I can't remember how many they've made, but yeah, I've seen the first 2. They're alright. They're harmless kids' fare, nothing special, but nothing bad. And those are all your questions for the Sunday catch-up. I'm sorry towards the end I went on a sort of like political rant, but I don't often do that on this channel, but that issue in particular has really riled me, and I'm very passionate about it. So if you didn't like it, soz. But as always, please leave your questions down below, and I will answer them in next week's Sunday catch-up. Please keep supporting the channel as you always do. As I said at the beginning, you've got a slew of content coming every single day, and there might even be some double uploads in there as well. Please keep the race going to 10k. Let's try and get there before the end of June. That would absolutely be fantastic and such a milestone for this channel, and I'd be very thankful to you guys for it. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Please leave a like on this video, leave your questions down below, subscribe to the channel if you're brand new, and until the next one, I will see you guys next time. Well, that does bring us to a close this evening on AMTV. We do hope you enjoyed the programme, and please do keep your eyes open for brand new content that will be coming to you soon. Until then, have a very good week, and we hope that you join us again soon. Good night.